So hello guys and welcome to another SCPH replay cast. This time it's gonna be a ZVZ on Eternal Empire LE. As we said before, cleanup is a go. We're wrapping up all of the backlogs here from the replay cast before we get into new ones. So we're gonna be seeing, of course, some of the older maps and some blasts of the past. When you can say it's just like a few weeks gone. Introducing first, here on the bottom left of Eternal Empire LE, it is our Red Zerg DMC. What does even DMC stand for? Devil May Cry, Do Me Cheese. Is he gonna cheese? That's the question there. The Red Zerg gonna be here on the bottom left and already sending in some drones. Where are these going? But in the meantime, his opponent, we might not have time to introduce him anyway because this is gonna be the Zerg coming his way. It is our blue Zerg on the top right, and his name is Hadoo. Hadouken? Hadoo. Great name. And it is Hadoo gonna be playing this blue Zerg. He is already going for the hatchery first, and of course gonna be getting that extractor up so he can get that metabolic boost up and running later on. DMC gonna be more or less doing the same old thing. Pool gonna be there as well, and the scouting drone will say hello to the Overlord. For now though, this is gonna be DMC at the very least. Looking on around to see what the hell is going on. Onto the natural, sees everything is a-okay, and we are gonna have a macro game here on Eternal Empire. Now, on Eternal Empire, the best thing you can really notice about a map like this, it's still quite large in terms of the space you have to work with, so you can build as many bases as you would like at the get-go. You can go for 3 bases pretty safely, more or less. High ground that can be taken, and it's up to you if you want to go on the low ground instead to try and get that rich best bean, or stay up hot top, stay into the lanes, and just really hug that S as much as possible. Selnaga Tower is still going to be on a map like this. Not like what we see nowadays, where these towers have really been phased out. In a case like this, though, spawning pool now going to be up and running for Hadoo very, very soon. DMC already with his. And for DMC, gonna start things off with some lings into play. Queen's gonna be pumped up as well from both hatcheries. And for now, the Red Zerg gonna be at the very least looking to go for the bear macro here and now. Hadoo lag about a little bit, but it doesn't really matter per se. Those extra seconds though can pile up, and then it will matter. So it's up to them to refine their game. So ZVZ, when you look at the matchup like this, you usually expect it's Lings versus Lings, then Banes versus Banes, then Roaches versus Roaches, then Hydras versus Hydras, and then Mutas versus whatever there is, and the get-go. It's just more of the mirror matchup in the early game, and then into the mid game, you can choose what path you want to take. Be as unique as can be, but for now, Hadoo having to deal with the Overlord there. Third hatchery now being built so by our blue Zerg, and DMC in the meantime gonna have a handful of Zerglings onto the ramp on the other side of the natural base there. Queen though already damaging the Overlord, forcing it away. Good vision though from the Overlord of Hadoo's side. It just wants to make sure that there is no one scouting around there, but DMC will take this opportunity to go for the sound. The Queen already trying to back on away. For some reason though, Hadoo hurting his own Queen, but doesn't really matter. The regeneration on the creep gonna allow him to keep that topped up in just a bit. And in the case though, you know, the Zerg, these bio units, they just get their health back anyway. It's ridiculous how they work. It doesn't really become a big factor unless they survive many of these fights. But for now, these are the Lings already moving over to the third base instead. Sees the hatchery pop. Creep though, not gonna connect it, but Hadoo is ready for it. He has his own number of Lings right now to try and defend the Queens though. That's dangerous to actually put them on the outskirts if there is a flanking army. Luckily for Hadoo, DMC only has these, and this is gonna be the blue Zerg defending for now. So an early investment of a third hatchery, Hadoo did adjust to build a bigger army there, and now he can go for the workers in. So in the meantime, DMC seeing that third hatch will be doing it as well, and will go for the Roach Warren at the same time. Wants to change up the tempo of this game, make sure he's gonna be able to catch out Hadoo if ever he isn't ready for it. And now the drone's moving over to the natural so far. DMC though, more and more of these Lings already moving over to the north side. And we're 4 minutes in here to Eternal Empire. It's more of the setup right now between our two players before the knockdown. Speaking of the knockdown, Roach Warren ready to go. Might be time to see these bigger and bulkier units get into the field. Hadoo though saturating his natural first before using that third. Using the extra larva though for the time being. And he's also going to be getting 2 extractors now on the low ground to give him 3 gas into the setup. On the other side, DMC will be doing the same. Extractors are there. And finally, the drone's going to be starting things off with the gas. Haduu, though, has the back on away because that Overlord going to get spotted for now. In the case in point, DMC just playing it slow. So not much scouting here from both sides besides the Overlords. This is that kind of ZVZ where you'll get the initial aggression. Instead, they're waiting it out to see who's gonna do one better and who's gonna do something first. DMC though, something to take note, he's already blockaded the main ramp here with Evolution Chambers. He's already going for the +1, and he wants to get some more scouting, so Carapace the way to go. Extra speed on those Overlords allow them to move very, very quickly compared to their counterparts without the upgrade. Haduu though has to float his to the south side with Queen being very pesky. For now, it seems like for Haduu, he's also got a Roach Warren along the way. Puts it onto the main base, wants to go for the Lair Tech as well. And does DMC know this is coming? He's only seen a bit of the main base so far. He knows it's a 3-base setup from the side of Haduu. For DMC, he does get the upgrades that he's looking for. Metabolic Boost, Carapace, both online to allow the Overlords right now that speed alongside the Link speed into this. Blair though ready to go. Roach Warren gonna be set up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Reconstitution immediately built, but Haduu is the one doing it first, and DMC gonna be doing it after. Nothing to note though, both sides even on the Roach count, even though we did see DMC spend more of that gas onto the Carapace rather than the units. Might be an opportunity though for Haduu to change it up, and there you have it. Gas gonna turn these things into Ravagers instead. On the low ground though here for Haduu, wanted to go for the engagements. And DMC has a moment, backing on away to the 3rd base instead. Haduu though creeping on closer and closer, but might be surprised as soon as he sees the Evo Chambers on the other side. And speaking of that one though, DMC trying to poke and prod. He did get a Queen over there, but besides that, it's Haduu defending with his Spine Crawler. The drone's so gonna get pulled alongside the Queens for some reason, but for now, it's Haduu knocking on the door of the opposition. Here comes the shots. Foul gonna connect, and this building might go down soon. This can be a beautiful cancel onto the upgrade. 1 HP will get it there. That was so very close for DMC to get away with that, but Haduu will eventually get the shutdown on the Evo Chamber. And it's a bit of a problem. He used the Evo Chamber for the upgrades in the front line. It can easily get busted down if it's in the way. DMC though still defending Haduu right now. Trying to go for the offensive, but that's a perfect pickoff here from the Blue Zerg. Properly timed, canceling that one out. That was so very close, and this might give Haduu the edge if ever, but +1 Carapace coming online very, very soon here for DMC. He is on the high ground looking to anticipate army count more or less even right now. Haduu only a bit down on the worker and the army count right now. But speaking of that one though, reinforcements arriving as the Zerglings are trying to make it there. And here comes the engagement. Queen already going on down. Haduu able to make the connection happen. And he wants to invade onto the high ground, but the Roaches are making contact so far. Baldo gonna be huge, and there you go. DMC taking some critical damage from the Bile there. Spell casting, doing some flat values. In the case in point, still DMC with the numbers in. So Haduu right now has to be careful. The Ravager trying to get on away. DMC giving chase. Hiker right now being taken. And here we go with the Biles again. Getting the connection anyway. One Ravager though will fall. Haduu right now chipping away from the opposition. And he sees the red HP. There are the red units, but it's still too much to handle. Concave right now from DMC. Going for the push even more so. The Ravagers trying to get the hell out of there. In case in point, the number of Roaches right now, DMC able to get the advantage, double the count against Haduu. And this Queen is just going to be the only front line right now to get the damage done. Roaches right now pushing on forward, wants to go for the crawler there, and goodbye to the Spy, defending the 3rd base. But Haduu now with a flank, going to be able to get in behind. That's because Zerglings giving chase so far. And now DMC is so focused on the micro, he's not bothering with the macro anymore. Haduu in the meantime going for the Spire alongside the reinforcements. And our Red Zerg gonna back away instead. Now, in terms of economy, both sides pretty even. Still on the 40 mark on the workers, but Haduu losing a few here and there, building some Evo Chambers. DMC, though, can use that opportunity to actually go for the expansion, but now Haduu looking for the counterattack instead. Roaches are just not in position right now. This is the biggest bulk, and DMC not gonna see this one coming. Perfect concave right now from Hadoo, even though it's gonna be a low ground here for the blue Zerg. He still has the numbers, and right now the damage being done. DMC though with that +1 on the Carapace, keeping these things a bit more tankier. It's up to Hadoo to make these boss count if ever. The blue Zerg though losing a Ravager, losing the second one now. It's Roach Frenzy between the two. Acid being spit, but here comes Hadoo with all he needs and more to shut this one down. Step 1, shut down the upgrade a while ago. Step 2, catch out the army going for the reinforcements. And step 3, profit with that one, because here we go now. With Hadoo trying to creep closer and closer. Speaking of the creep though, he's moving on forward. Wants to go for the rocks first and foremost. But DMC right now gonna have his own army count ready to go behind that. Creep streamer though, still gonna be in the middle of all of that, giving some speed there, but DMC is the one with home field advantage, and he's making his own concave right now. The question is though, who can win this out? That +1 Carapace keeping these things alive a little bit more, and you can see for DMC, just that small little edge is what can allow him to get the damage done. Numbers right now more or less even. Hadoo though making it costly against DMC, but it's the same case here for the blue Zerg. It really goes to show that this is gonna be back and forth between the Roaches, but it's just a simple fight that forces Hadoo to back on away instead. But DMC right now, he's going for the chase, not knowing that Hadoo has built even more so in behind. So for Hadoo, at the very least, he knows how to reinforce his army. DMC floating on a lot of minerals right now. He wants to spend that. I'd love to see him go for a fort, because already Hadoo is doing that and more. But this is our blue Zerg right now, keeping up on the macro. And speaking of that one, the army count go back in his favor. Now that initial upgrade though from DMC is still keeping him alive in this game and more so. But Hadoo gonna be closing out that gap very, very soon. For now though, still Hadoo go on the chase. DMC backs on the way. And what's the plan right now for DMC? He's gone into the Hydralist den and will be going for some Hydras to go for a full ground assault with the range. In the meantime, seems like for Hadoo, he went for heavy roaches, sure, but he's still gonna go into the Spire play to send a flock of Muta. DMC though seeing that one coming. Do we have some Spore Crawlers into play? Not yet, but the Hydralist can go for the shots if ever. And now Hadoo waiting on the doorstep of the opposition. There we go, the Mutas right now getting damage done. Queen trying to go for the anti-air, but this is just gonna be all about micro here from Hadoo. Rapid regeneration, a great trait of the Mutalist. And here we go now with the movement, but there comes the Hydras right now, trying to get the DPS on. One Muta gonna go down. Spore Crawler is there. Opportunity though for Hadoo to attack, but not gonna bother. DMC going for a fort base instead. And so far, bit of a back and forth between our two players. Up to Hadoo right now of what the plan is. He's gonna be going for a big flood of links and even a Banelingness along the way, adding more to the ground in a late nest setup. You'd expect that this would be Link Bane, then the Mutas, but apparently we're changing up the order. We're going ACB. It starts with the Links, and then we go into the Spire, and then we go for Banes. But apparently there's a bonus point with Roaches along the way. But more or less, Hadoo just had to respond to what DMC was doing. If he didn't have his own Roaches, he's gonna really struggle into the front lines there. Transfusion though into play. Hatchery right now being protected here by DMC. You might want to connect this creep though, because these Mutalists, they don't need any connect besides the empty skylines to fly on around. Hadoo right now giving chase even more so. The DMC Overlord gonna go down. And the plan of action right now for Hadoo is to hunt these balloons down and just get the supply block on. Another thing they can do as well is these workers are gonna get taken down here and there. Spore Crawler too late. And for DMC, he's making a crucial mistake in a way. He should have bit these Spore Crawlers early on already. And Hadoo getting a few more here and there. And speaking of that one, these are the Overlights not gonna get spotted, but that's another Muta going down. And even though Hadoo had the opportunity, he still does go in to where the opponent has the anti-air. But for now, a very, very different case. These are Banelings, and they explode as soon as they are in position. So it's up to Hadoo to use these ones. Thing to note though is he doesn't have the roly-poly-olies as of yet. Doesn't have the hooks there for the Banes. So he'll have to protect them. And it's a big army right now knocking on the doorstep of DMC. For now though, DMC building more Spore Crawlers, expecting a bigger ball from the Mutas, but Hadoo, he knows that this is gonna be a surprise to the opposition. The Red Zerg not ready for this kind of onslaught, and these Hydras will have to stay away from the Banes, will have to stay behind the Roaches so they can stay alive. But the question is though, what is the Roach count right now? It's pretty even, which will be allowing Hadoo to get even more of the advantage. 26 for him compared to 24. Spawn Larva right now just gonna be coming on at the hatcheries there. And for now, Haduu still trying to go for even more upgrades. +1 right now on the melee, going for this infestation pit onto the other side. It's DMC doing the same thing and wanting to get that movement speed upgrade for the Hydras. Case in point though, these are more and more Banes. And does DMC even have an idea of what is to come? Overlord seeing in the middle. Hasn't seen the nest as of yet. No updates onto the main base. This Overlord has just been chilling. But it does know there are a few links moving over to the south side. So it's expected to be a defensive force. But DMC now seeing what is right behind it. Those Bane links looking absolutely bright and scary. This range composition here from DMC might not work out as well as he would like, but he is already able to get to the 200 marker with just one supply in difference. In any case though, Haduu still having a number of versatile units, having a number of different things together. And we'll see if this is going to be the abstract art working out against the dichotomy from DMC. In any case though, not a bad plan for DMC. Goes over to the high ground and wants to siege onto the base. In the meantime though, for Haduu, he's hunting down these units. He wants to get the catch and he's already going for it. The links are right now are moving on forward. DMC in the meantime gonna be hugging themselves and the Banelings are trying to roll on in. They smash out the first of the roaches, but it doesn't matter. Here comes the damage though, and it's gonna be Haduu getting the cleanup anyway. Big burst of units, blood all over the floor, and Haduu will be able to get the strike. So many units dying there, and that is game, set, and match. What a game indeed. DMC unable to protect those Hydras. He just kept it in the center. And even if the Banelings did smash onto the first wave, the second one came on in to get the damage done. Haduu mixing it up, getting the kills that it needs. Both players make it to the 200. And when you see a game like this, you know that one fight will change the pace. And this time, one fight will be the destiny there. Haduu will take it, gets the big booms on, and will play there to the Blue Zerg to take the victory in this one.